Ever look at your pet and really wish you knew what they were thinking? What if AI could help us crack that code?
Yeah, that'd be something else, wouldn't it? Like finally understanding our animal friends.
It really would, and that's exactly what we're going to be diving into today, the world of AI and animal emotions. We've got excerpts from a Science magazine article called Can AI Read Animals' Minds? And it suggests AI could be used to get a read on not just physical stuff, but also pain, stress, maybe even happiness.
That could be huge, especially since we still kind of struggle to really get what animals are feeling. Even experts mostly rely on like subtle facial cues or body language, which could be tough to read consistently.
Yeah, the article even talks about these grimace skills that scientists made by spending hours and hours just watching animals. It catalogs how their faces change when they're in pain or stress, but man, that seems like a ton of work.
It is, and it's still pretty easy for people to get it wrong. So that's where AI could really come in. It can not only do this stuff automatically, but it could maybe even be better than us at picking up on those tiny emotional hints we miss.
So how does all this work? The article mentions this system they're building called IntelliPig, and it's supposed to watch and analyze pigs' facial expressions? Sounds pretty high-tech.
It is, yeah. Basically, they use cameras to grab pictures of the pigs and then feed all that data into an AI system. And the cool part is that AI is trained on thousands of pig faces, showing all sorts of emotions.
Ah, so instead of recognizing faces like that facial recognition software, this is more about recognizing emotions, right?
Exactly. And it even goes beyond that. They use this thing called deep learning, where the AI actually starts figuring out patterns in the data all by itself, without us having to tell it exactly what to look for.
Wow, that's crazy. Almost like it's developing its own understanding of what those emotions look like in a pig.
Yeah, kind of. It's basically looking for those micro expressions, those tiny changes in muscle tension or eye movement that even trained professionals could miss.
Okay, but does it actually work? How accurate is it at actually recognizing animal emotions?
Well, the results are promising. There was one study that found AI was better than FITs at figuring out when cats and sheep were in pain. That's a big deal.
Whoa! If it can beat the pros, that's a game changer. Any other examples?
Yeah, there's a few. Like they were able to spot ewes that had foot rot and mastitis, which are both really painful. And in another study, the AI could tell when pigs were stressed just by their faces.
It's amazing to think that soon we might have something that can spot not just physical problems, but emotional distress in animals too.
And it's not just bad emotions either. Researchers are also training AI to figure out when animals are happy or frustrated, like in dogs and horses.
Wait, so AI can tell if a dog is happy. How do they even teach it to recognize that?
It all comes down to the data they use. Like researchers show the AI tons of pictures and videos of animals clearly showing emotions. A dog wagging its tail going crazy for a treat, or a horse pinning its ears back all frustrated.
So basically, building this massive library of emotional expressions, and the AI learns what each one means.
Yep, exactly. The more they feed into it, the better it gets at understanding all those different emotions.
Makes you wonder just how far this could go. Could we have a dog face reader app on our phones one day?
Maybe not that far off, actually. The article mentions folks are already working on apps that could scan your pet's face for signs of pain or distress.
Wow, that'd be incredible, being able to get what your pet needs on a whole other level.
Right. And the potential goes way beyond pets. Think farms, labs, shelters. AI could change how we take care of animals everywhere.
It sounds like we're on the verge of something huge in animal care. But with any new tech, there are questions, right? How to use it responsibly.
Oh, absolutely. That's crucial, actually. It's like with anything powerful, it could be used in good ways or bad. We got to make sure we use it for the good of both humans and animals.
Right, because it's cool to think we could understand our pets better, but AI could definitely be misused, especially in farms or labs.
Oh, for sure. One of the big worries is that the AI itself might get things wrong. Remember, it learns from specific data. If that data isn't great, the AI might make bad calls about an animal's emotions.
So it's not perfect. You're saying if it mostly learns from pictures of calm cows, it might miss when a cow's acting weird and stressed.
Exactly, and that could be a big problem, especially if it means an animal doesn't get the care it needs. Think about AI on a farm, watching for sick animals.
Yeah, if it's not trained right, it could miss something important and the animal could suffer because of it.
Exactly, that's why we still need people involved. We can't just trust these AI systems to make big decisions about animal welfare. We need vets and behaviorists to be part of it.
Makes sense. It's like when you get a medical test, you want a doctor to explain it, not just rely on the computer.
Great analogy. We wouldn't want a computer diagnosing us without a doctor, right? So we shouldn't rely only on AI for understanding animal emotions either.
Now, the article also mentions that AI might not just read emotions, but maybe manipulate them. Is that for real?
Yeah, it's a tricky thing to think about. If AI can figure out what makes animals happy, could we make environments that keep them happy all the time?
Sounds kind of sci-fi, like building a perfect world where animals never feel bad.
Tempting, right. But it brings up some big ethical questions. do we have the right to mess with animal emotions like that?
That's a really good point. Like, would we be taking away their freedom to feel the full range of emotions that make them, well, them?
And then there's the slippery slope thing. Like, if we start using AI to control animal emotions for their own good, where does it stop? Could it lead to stuff that's not okay?
Lots to think about. It seems like with every cool new tech thing, there's always this ethical side we have to figure out.
That's the challenge and the responsibility that comes with moving forward. It's up to all of us to talk about this stuff and make sure we're using powerful tech like AI in the right way.
So, with all these concerns, is there still room for FERP? Can we use AI to help animals without falling into these ethical traps?
I think so. The key is to approach this carefully and responsibly. Remember that AI is just a tool. It's only as good as the information it gets and the people who are using it.
So we use AI to understand animals better, but it doesn't replace our own empathy and responsibility to take care of them.
Exactly. And the article did have some positive examples, like those smart farms we talked about before.
Yeah, those were interesting. AI helping farmers keep a closer eye on their animals, spotting problems early, that could really improve animal welfare.
For sure. Imagine farms where AI is always checking on the animals and letting farmers know if something seems off.
That would mean getting help sooner for the animals, better treatment, and happier, healthier animals in the end.
And it's not just farms. Think labs, shelters, even our own homes. AI could make a difference.
True. We talked about apps that could help people understand their pets better, maybe even stop problems before they start.
Right. And in labs, AI could make sure animals are treated well, keeping their stress as low as possible.
It sounds like AI could change how we care for animals in a lot of different ways.
It definitely could. But we have to make sure those changes are good. We need to talk openly about the ethical stuff and make rules to prevent it from being misused.
So it's a challenge, but an important one. We have to face it if we want to use this powerful technology to help both people and animals.
I agree. It's a future worth working for. A world where technology helps us build a kinder and more caring relationship with animals.
And that's a wrap on part one. In the next part, we'll dig into what this all means for the future of how humans and animals connect. We're back and ready to dig even deeper into AI and animal emotions. We talked about how cool this technology could be, but like we said before, there's definitely a responsible way to use it.
Yeah, that's super important. Like we were saying, it's a powerful tool. We got to make sure it's used for good for both us and the animals.
Right, because AI could be misused, especially in places like farms and labs, right?
Definitely. One of the big things to watch out for is the AI messing up, because it learns from the data it's given, right? So if that data isn't very good, the AI could get an animal's feelings totally wrong.
So like if it's only ever seen pictures of chill cows, it might not know what to do with the cow that's acting all strange and stressed out.
Exactly. And that could be bad news for the animal if it doesn't get the help it needs. Imagine if an AI is on a farm, supposed to be looking for sick animals.
And it misses something because it doesn't recognize the signs. That's scary.
Right. That's why we can't just let AI make all the calls about animals. We need people like vets and animal behavior experts to be in the loop too.
Yeah, it's like getting a medical test. You want a doctor to tell you what it means, not just trust the computer printout.
Totally. We need that human touch to make sure the AI is right and that the animals are getting what they need.
The article also mentioned that AI might be able to actually change animal emotions. Is that even possible?
It's something to think about for sure. Like if we can figure out what makes animals happy, could we then build environments that keep them happy all the time?
That sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
It does, doesn't it? Like some kind of perfect world where animals never feel bad. But it brings up some big questions about what's right and wrong, you know? Like, do we really have the right to do that to animals?
Yeah, good point. Like, are we robbing them of the chance to experience all the different emotions that make them unique?
And then there's that slippery slope idea. If we start using AI to control animal emotions for their own good, where do we draw the line? Things could get out of hand.
It's a lot to unpack, that's for sure. It seems like every time we make some cool new tech, there's always this ethical side we got to figure out.
For sure, it comes with the territory. It's up to us to talk about these things and make sure something powerful like AI is being used the right way.
So even with all these things to worry about, can we still be hopeful? Can we use AI to help animals without, crossing any ethical lines?
Yeah, I think we can. The important thing is to be careful and responsible. And remember, AI is just a tool. It's only as good as the info it gets and the people who are using it.
So it's more about using AI to help us understand animals better, not replacing our own empathy and responsibility for them.
Exactly. And remember those smart farms we talked about earlier? The article had some pretty positive examples of how AI could be used.
Yeah, that was really interesting. Like AI could help farmers keep a close eye on their animals and catch problems early on. That could really make things better for the animals.
Definitely. Imagine a world where AI is constantly watching the animals and letting farmers know if something seems off, even a little bit.
That would mean the animals get help sooner, treatment is more focused, and in the end, everyone's happier and healthier.
And it goes beyond farms, too. Think about labs, shelters, even in our own homes. AI could really change things up.
That's right. We were talking about apps that could help people understand their pets better, maybe even prevent problems before they happen.
Right. And in labs, AI could make sure that research animals are treated well and that we're doing everything we can to keep them from being stressed.
It sounds like AI could change the way we care for animals in all sorts of ways.
It really could, but we've got to make sure those changes are positive. We have to talk honestly about the ethics of it all and make some rules so it's not misused.
So there are challenges, but they're worth facing if we want to use this powerful technology to help both people and animals.
You got it. It's a future worth fighting for, a world where technology can help us build a better, more compassionate relationship with the animals we share our planet with.
All right, so we're back for the final part of our look at AI and animal emotions. We've talked about a lot of different stuff, the good and the tricky stuff. But now I want to focus on what this all means for the future of, like, us and animals, you know?
Yeah, that's a big one, isn't it? We've talked about how AI could totally change animal care, but it goes even deeper than that, right? Like, AI could change the whole relationship between humans and animals.
I think so, too. Remember that app I talked about, the one that could tell you what your dog's feeling? Imagine that was real. It'd be like finally being able to speak their language.
It would. Imagine knowing what your pet's happy about, what makes them nervous, what they need. I think it would make our relationships with them so much stronger, and we'd take even better care of them.
I love that. No more guessing games, you just know. And this could go way beyond pets too, right? Like on those smart farms where AI is watching over the animals. Could we get to a point where farm animals are not just healthy, but like truly happy too?
Absolutely. Imagine farmers using AI to figure out exactly what their animals need to be happy. You know, less stress, more time with their friends, a better life overall. I think it would make things so much more humane.
That would be huge. What about shelters? Could AI do some good there?
Oh, for sure. Think about it. AI could help match animals with the perfect families based on personality and, emotional stuff. It could mean way fewer animals being returned to shelters, which would be awesome for everyone.
I never thought of that. That could make such a big difference for so many animals. Okay, so what about like wild animals? Could AI help them out too?
Definitely. AI could be huge for protecting endangered species. Imagine using it to track animals in the wild and see how they're feeling. Like, are they stressed because their habitat's shrinking or because of poachers? It could give us a whole new way to protect them.
It'd be like giving them a voice when they can't speak for themselves. We could use AI to make sure they're okay, but we've got to be careful, right? I mean, there's a chance AI could be misused when it comes to animal emotions.
You're right. We have to be very careful. Just building the technology isn't enough. We need to figure out the ethical side of things, too.
Exactly. We need to make sure we understand how these AI systems are making decisions. Like, are they biased in some way? And that means getting everyone involved, not just the tech people, but animal experts, ethicists, even regular people. We all need to be part of the conversation.
Totally. It's a reminder that technology isn't like good or bad on its own. It depends on us, the people who create it and use it. So we have to decide, how do we want to use AI with animals?
Such a good point. Do we want to use it to control them or to really understand them? Big choice.
It is, and I think that's a good place to wrap up our deep dive, don't you? We've covered a lot today, but I think one thing's clear, this AI stuff could change everything about how we relate to animals.
For sure. It's a future full of potential, but also, like you said before, responsibility. If we're smart about it, I think we can use AI to make the world a better place for all of us, furry, feathered, and otherwise.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll be back soon with another fascinating topic. Until then, keep those brains buzzing.